اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وكرم على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على حبيبنا المصطفى صلوات الله وسلاماته عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه إلى يوم الوفاء. نويت التعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على تمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم والدعاء إلى الهدى والدلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يقربنا منك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for affording us this opportunity to do and to fulfill an amana in obedience to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and obedience to our respected teachers. Before we start, inshallah, this dawrah was established in order for us to inform ourselves and to remind ourselves of the responsibilities of every single Muslim. And one of those responsibilities is the preparation of the Janaazah. The preparation of the Janaazah. And before we start, inshallah, this specific dawrah or the specific lessons that was taken by myself from our teachers in Hadramaut, in Tarim, from our beloved teacher who is Habib Ali Mashhoor, the elder brother of Habib Umar. That was just in Cape Town recently, the elder brother. And Habib Mashhoor is currently the Mufti of Tarim. He is the Mufti of Tarim, and he is the one that oversees this very responsibility, teaching the people how to the etiquette of visiting the sick and how to wash and preparation of the body and the burial, salah and so forth. So we took this dawrah from him, and one of his, before we left, he said that this is an amana, this is your responsibility. And now you should go home and take what you have taken here and give it back to the people like you have received it. So alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for affording us this opportunity to be able to give back again to the communities. Sheikh Muhammad actually told me to take my time, inshallah, because there's a possibility that people might come late. But there is one thing that I've learned from my teachers, specifically in Tarim, in Hadramaut, that Habib Mashhoor, he had a reputation of never, ever being late. If we said that we're starting 5 o'clock the morning, or 10 o'clock the evening, or 4 o'clock the afternoon, Habib would be waiting before everyone else, waiting. And that's his reputation that he had. And we need to take from that. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And this is the permission given to us by him to teach, inshallah, to teach this very subject. And inshallah, by the end of this, there will be, inshallah, I've heard that there will be certification, inshallah. So the permissibility and permission from there, inshallah, to give it over to the next generation, inshallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the first thing that we have everyone got a copy of this? Where's Hazim? I see, yes, the ladies has.
We do that.
Yes, but the men, they do not have a copy of this.
No.
It's on the tape. Yes. So we just need to have everyone have a copy, inshallah. So it'll be less writing. Okay, just distribute it, inshallah. Okay, Bismillah. Don't worry about that. Just the disc. Farid. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. So alhamdulillah, we have in front of us the Janaazah, the final journey. This is the final journey, our final journey. Every single person will face this one day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ, that every single individual will indeed definitely taste the pains of death, and we will see it coming, inshaAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we need to prepare ourselves for that in every way, ourselves as spiritually, and then also prepare how to prepare the people that we are responsible for. So the first thing on this, on the list is that there are 4 things that are compulsory for the preparation of the mayyit, and that is wajib upon every single individual. Right? The first is that the washing of the deceased is wajib, and the shrouding of the deceased is wajib. The salah upon the deceased is also compulsory, and then the burial of the deceased is compulsory. And these are the 4 aspects that we will be dealing with, inshallah. If Allah allows us at the time, we will deal with the first 2 or 3, inshallah, and leave the burial and salah perhaps for last. And then we'll do the practical, bi'idhnillah, in the last session. So this session and the next session, which is next week, we'll just do theory. And the last session, inshallah, we'll be doing the practical. Okay, so before we start, inshallah, there are firstly etiquettes that we have to adhere to. And this is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has encouraged us to visit the sick, And upon visiting the sick, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says in a hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he says, حق المسلم على المسلم خمس. There are 5 things that is the haqq of every single Muslim, the right of every single Muslim. 5 things that one has to adhere to. And the first is to return the salam of a Muslim. When someone greets you, it is sunnah to greet, but to return the salam is wajib. The first thing is to return greeting of an individual, of a Muslim brother. The second is visiting the dead, visiting the sick. Rasulullah ﷺ encouraged that this is also the haqq of a Muslim for us to go make it a point to go visit the sick. The third is to follow the Janaazah, and then to answer the call of a da'wah, meaning that when someone invites you to something, this is one of the responsibilities, that when someone invites you, they say like to invite you to a wedding, is that it is impossible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to become sick, to become ill. So he goes and he says, they say to him, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Allah, كيف أعودك وأنت رب العالمين? How is it possible that I can visit you when you are the Lord of the universe? Rasulullah ﷺ says. He then goes on and he says, قال أما علمت أن عبدي فلانا مرض فلم تعدني? Did you not know that when my slave such and such, Abdullah, has fallen ill and you have not visited him? Did you not know that he has fallen ill? Why did you not visit him? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues and he says, أما علمت أنك لو عدته لوجدتني عنده? Did you not know that if you had visited him, you would found me there? That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to. He did not say he becomes sick. No, it's impossible. It says that if you go visit the sick, the ill, critically ill, or someone that is just ill, if you visit him, you will find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy is there. You go there, and one thing that it says that when you go there, the du'as is mustajab. The du'as, and we know that in the Cape Town, we always say that, du'as van die sick is mustajab. Alright? So, this is encouragement. And then, the jaza, or the rewards of visiting the sick. There's a hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, ما من مسلم يعود مسلما غدوة أو غدوة إلا صلي أو إلا صلى عليه 70,000 ملك حتى يمسي. that there is no Muslim individual, a person, a man, a Muslim, or a female, that goes and visit the sick every or whenever it is so. If you go visit him in the morning, then for that day, 70,000 malaika will be making istighfar and placing salutations and asking for forgiveness for that individual until the evening comes. And then the hadith goes on and it says, and if he goes and visit him in the evening, then the same 70,000 malaika will again do the same until the morning. All right. So this brings us to the adab of visiting the sick. There are two things that we must know. The first is that you get two types of people who are sick. The first is the critically ill. The critically ill. And the second, or the first is this person that is just ill. And we know that when we go visit this person, when we are in this company of this person, we can see that, this is not a illness that is going to lead to death. This is not critically ill. So you know that this person, we are hoping that this person is going to get well again, inshallah. So this is the first person that you know, or you're hoping that he's going to get well. And the second individual, you see that he is critically ill. So Habib, he says that you have to first distinguish which of the two of these people it is. And if it is the one that you know that he's going to become healthy again, if you know, or you see he's going to become healthy again, then it is a custom that you should, the words that Habib used, that you should place fear within the heart of this person. Not fear as in completely scared of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you make him conscious. Make him conscious of the state that he is in now. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَبِمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُصِيبَةٍ what is this? The ayah is أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُم. That there is anything that you have achieved or anything that you have harvested in your life, right? And due to this that you have harvested in your life, and you will see the rewards or the adhab for this. So when a person becomes ill, then this is due to your fault. This is what Habib says, that this is due to your fault. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to show you and wants to purify you and test you, and so that you can realize again that you are going to end up where you won't be able to turn back. So you have to place fear within the heart of this person, so that this person can realize that they have to return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the one. The second individual, if you know that this person is going to die, right, and he is on his deathbed, then when you go and visit him, you should not place any fear in this person's heart, not at all. You should actually encourage him and let him see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most merciful. So you encourage him to having a good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, or Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in a hadith Qudsi, أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِ بِي فَلْيَظُنُّ مَا شَاءَ. That I am what my slave thinks of me. So whatever he thinks of me, that is what he will find. That is what he will find. When he thinks good of me, then I will be good with him. If he does not think so, then this is the way he will be treated. So we must always have good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is for the second individual. And one of the etiquettes also, that when you visit the sick, Habib says that you should always try and make your visit very short. Make it short. Do not prolong your visit when you are in the company of the sick and the critically ill, specifically the critically ill. Because what happens is that when you are for a period of time in their company, it makes it difficult for them. Some of them would need to go to the toilet. So you need people to come in and clean him. You need people to turn him. You need people to give him food or to change clothes, whatever it is. So you do not sit for a long period of time. All you need to do is you go to the place and make dua for the person. And when you are done making dua for the person, sit for a small while and move, inshallah. Ask for du'as from the person. This is the way of the Habaib. They say that when they go visit the sick, they will ask dua from the individual. Not you make dua for them. You ask dua from them, because their du'as are mustajab at that moment of time. And then the other thing is that Rasulullah says in a hadith that when you go and visit the person, there is things that you need to say. First thing is when you come and visit the person, he says, La ba'sa tahur. You tell the person, La ba's. Don't worry, this is purification for you. Do not worry, this is purification for you. And the second thing is that this is something that I found very beautiful when Habib mentioned this. He says that when you go visit the person, greet him, Assalamu alaikum, sit down, and the first thing you say, you make the dua. As'alullah al-Kareem, Rabb al-Arsh al-Azim, an yashfika. This is the words specifically in a hadith. As'alullah al-Kareem, Rabb al-Arsh al-Azim, an yashfika. You say this 7 times. If you say this 7 times, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, insha'Allah, will give this person health again and return him back to good health. So,
Can you repeat that louder and slower so we can write it?
okay. So, As'alullah al-Kareem, you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most giving, the most merciful, the most all-giving, Rabb al-Arsh al-Azim, the Lord of the Arsh, of the great Arsh, an yashfika, to give you shifa, to give you good health. As'alullah al-Kareem, Rabb al-Arsh al-Azim, an yashfika. As'alullah al-Kareem, Rabb al-Arsh al-Azim, an yashfika. Understand? Inshallah. So when you say the second 7 times, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will afford that this person will return back to his good health, inshallah. So the person that is on his deathbed, right? We should always encourage him to have a good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, لا يموت أحدكم إلا وهو حسن الظن بربه, that none of you must die or leave this dunya except that you must have a good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you have this good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will fall in the category where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أنا عند ظن عبدي بي فليظن ما شاء, that you are what I am, what you think of me. So think of me good and I will be good with you, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second is that we find ourselves that when the person is now on his deathbed, there are specific things that we need to do. The first is that we need to face the individual towards the Qibla, to lie on his right side. You let him lie on his right side and face the Qibla. That means the face is facing the Qibla. And if he's not able to lie on his right side facing the Qibla, then you place him on his back, let his feet, the inside of the feet, face towards the Qibla. If he cannot lie on his right side, some of them say, if he cannot lie on his right side, then place him on his left side, also facing the Qibla. So if it's not this side facing the Qibla, then it is this side facing the Qibla. And if he cannot lie on his side, obviously you need to put some support for him. If he cannot lie on his side due to whatever injuries, whatever it may be, and then lie him on his back where his feet is facing towards the Qibla, and then very simply just place a cushion under his head so that his head can be raised also to face, his face can face the Qibla. That's what they do. That is the first thing that we do, let the person face the Qibla. And it is a custom, right, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that when you are in the company of somebody, it's called a muhtadar, is somebody that is on the verge, or his ruh is on the verge of leaving him. It is a custom where Rasulullah ﷺ says, لَقِّنُوا مَوْتَاكُمْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, that you must do it, like we say in Cape Town, we do the talqeen. But this you do not force upon the person, and you do not tell the person, say La ilaha illallah. You do not tell him, say La ilaha illallah. And specifically, the person who is informing him about La ilaha illallah should not be the person that's going to inherit from him. It's better. Because why? If it is the individual that's going to inherit from him, then you think, so that you can get my money. Understand? So not like that. So it is preferable, sunnah, for someone else to do the talqeen. So you go to him and say, you start reciting La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. And if you see the individual says La ilaha illallah, then it's fine, you can stop. But we have a custom in Cape Town that we say it all the time, La ilaha illallah, La, until the ruh leaves the body. But if you see that he has said La ilaha illallah, it is permissible then for you to stop. If he cannot speak, you find somebody that just points his finger, La ilaha illallah. You know this means La ilaha illallah. So then it's fine. You can stop. If you see, for instance, someone says La ilaha illallah, then afterwards he looks at you and he says, bring the water. Or he speaks something about the dunya, Then after that again, you need to repeat La ilaha illallah to him again, so that he says La ilaha illallah again. And the reason for this, why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says لقنوا موتاكم بلا إله إلا الله, is because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in another hadith, من كان آخر كلامه من الدنيا لا إله إلا الله دخل الجنة. That the individual, if it is that he said his last words in his life, La ilaha illallah, then he will enter Jannah. The last words, if you say the last words before you die, it does not mean that you must say La ilaha illallah and die. It means La ilaha illallah was the last words you uttered, nothing else after that. And you died, then inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you Jannah. So when it comes to this point, Habib always makes an example, and he says that there was a guy in Say'un, also in Hadramaut, that he was teaching hadith in one of the mosques. And when he came across this hadith, من كان آخر كلامه من الدنيا لا إله إلا الله, but he came across this hadith and he just started reciting من كان قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, and whatever, and he says من كان آخر كلامه لا إله إلا الله, and then he passed away. He passed away. He wasn't able to complete the hadith. The second portion of the hadith says دخل الجنة, enters Jannah. That is the second part of the hadith. So Habib says that this is a practical, he showed us practical, the implementation of this hadith. The last words that he said was La ilaha illallah, and he did not complete the hadith, he died, he passed on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him a high place in Jannah, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala afford us also, so that it's easy for us that when it comes to that time we say La ilaha illallah. Okay, so it is also a sunnah. This is the first, right? The first is to face the dead towards the Qibla, whether it's on his right side, preferable right side. If not on his right side, then it's on his left side. If you cannot do that, then on his back, and his feet face the Qibla. After that, and then recite La ilaha illallah. And in this time, while the people are sitting, it is permissible to recite Quran from the time the person is ill until until you're going to perform perform the salah for him. It is permissible to recite all the time. Obviously, we're not going to recite in the room when they're doing the washing, right? Outside. Not Quran inside the room when they is busy with Janaazah and so forth. So it says that there are 3 things that one should do. We should encourage people to recite Quran. And the first thing is that when you're reciting Quran, to recite Surah Al-Ra'd. Surah Al-Ra'd. Alright? And the second thing is to recite abundance of Surah Yasin. And the third is to recite Surah Al-Ikhlas. Surah Al-Ikhlas. Is it in there? Yes. Surah Al-Ikhlas and the Quls. We call it the Quls because why? It is called Mu'awwadatain. All those surah that says Qul huwallahu ahad, Qul a'udhu birabbil falaq, Qul a'udhu birabbin nas, and those things we recite. Those surah we recite abundantly. And the reason for the recitation of these surah is because it eases the ruh to leave the body. It eases for the ruh to leave the body. Because there is 2 ways that the ruh actually leaves the body. And we know that. There's 2 ways. And generally they say that a good person, when he had a good life, then his ruh leaves his body easy. Obedient person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his ruh leaves his body easy. And they say a person that is just shaqi, or the person that is going is destined for torment and for punishment and for perhaps Jahannam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that. This person, his ruh leaves his body a little difficult. So they make the example. He says that the person whose ruh leaves the body easy is like removing a hair from flour. Removing a hair from flour. It just comes out easy. It's not felt at all. And the person whose ruh leaves the body and is destined for Jahannam or for torment, for difficult, it is the example we use in Cape Town is like throwing a silk cloth over a thorn tree or a rose bush and pulling it and trying to get the cloth out. What happens? It actually rips the cloth apart. So this is the way the ruh comes out of the body. And the ruh doesn't just come out of the body. The ruh comes out of every single portion of the body, every single hair, every single limb, every single nail, every single thing, even the teeth, the ruh comes out, and every single portion of this body actually feels the torment, if it is that it is torment. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for us, inshaAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the ruh, when it leaves the body, it could be difficult and it could be easy. It could be difficult and it could be easy. So to make it easy, we mentioned that number 3, to make it easy for the person is to recite Surah Al-Ra'd, Surah Yasin, the Ikhlas and the Quls, right? To recite the Quls, and this will make it easy for the ruh to leave the body. And then also when we are reciting, this is also a beautiful thing, that when we are reciting by the people, by the dead or the person that is busy dying, right? Muhtadar they call him, when he's busy dying, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, due to this, descends mercies upon this place. So these are the mercies that make it easy for the ruh to leave the body, inshaAllah. Then and then to also, we should use the siwak, to use the siwak to clean the mouth. But he says that you should dip the siwak into the water and just lightly put it in the mouth, and this is to moisten the mouth a little. Because there's a hadith that mentions that the time of death, it becomes so difficult for the person that if it was, and becomes thirsty, that if it was that all the waters were given to him, he would not have quenched his thirst at that moment, not at all. So we take the miswak and we wet his mouth a little, but there's another benefit also. Using the miswak, because it is sunnah, and Rasulullah ﷺ encouraged this, there are 70 benefits. 70 benefits of using the siwak. One of these benefits is that when you custom yourself throughout your life using the siwak, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for that individual at the time of death, by using the siwak, to say La ilaha illallah. To say La ilaha illallah. So when this time comes, like they say that if it is, you have to bring all the waters, this person wouldn't quench his thirst at all. And this brings us to a little instance that happened with Sayyidina or Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was the student of Imam Shafi'i, who was the student of Imam Malik, and we all know these names, right? Imam Malik was the first, not the first, but with Imam Abu Hanifa, they established the madhab of the Maliki madhab and the madhab of the Hanafi madhab. And the student of Imam Malik was Imam Shafi'i. And this is the very fiqh that we are doing now, the Shafi'i fiqh. So, and then the student of Imam Shafi'i, who was Imam Ahmad, who has the madhab of Hanabila, of Hanbal, right? What they call is the Hanbalis. They call them Hanbalis. So Imam Ahmad, at this time of his death, right? And we must say, we know that Rasulullah ﷺ also informed us that at the time of death, this is where Shaitan, he never gives up. He tries every single opportunity that he can get, he will try to get the abd, to get the slave, right? To take him out of the fold of Islam. So he says that at this moment, the Shaitan will come, because he knows that you are thirsty for water. The Shaitan comes with water, and he requests from the slave, and he requests from the abd, he says that just denounce the deen. Just denounce. Just denounce the deen and I will give you water. And if we are a weak slave, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us strength, inshaAllah. If the individual is weak, then he will say, yes, I do, just give me the water. Because this is the time of real need. When you are in need, you do anything. And especially when you know you're on the brink of death. It's unbelievable what people would do. So Shaitan will come and he would offer this water to the person. And if you want this water and you're going to take it, then some people would denounce. We ask Allah subhanahu to protect us from that. And some of the people would not do that. Some people would not do that. Like Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, like we were speaking about Imam Ahmad. He said that it was known, and it was written by Imam Ahmad, not by Imam Ahmad, by the people who were present at his time of death, that when they were trying to tell him, when they told him Ahmad, when they informed him Ahmad, Sheikh Ahmad, say La ilaha illallah, say La ilaha illallah, or they were just repeating La ilaha illallah, all he could do and all he said was La. That's what he said, La. So La in Arabic language means no. So how does this sound? This is the Imam, this is the great Imam Ahmad. He's saying no, 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 thrice. So they thought, subhanAllah, this is a bad thing, because why? This man is going to die in kufr now. Right? And so in two narrations, the one that Habib just recently mentioned in that narration, and Habib Mashhur mentions in a different narration also, he said, the Habib Mashhur, my teacher, he mentioned in his narration, he says that someone of one of his murids, of his students, saw him after he left, after he passed on. After he passed on. And when they asked him, Shaykh, what was the reason? What is the point? Why did you say no the whole time? We're trying to inform you to say La ilaha illallah. He says, no. I was not referring and I was not responding to you guys at all. At all. I was not responding to you. What I was doing is I was telling Shaitan no the whole time. No, no, no. Because Shaitan came to him and Shaitan told him that, Ya Ahmad, Fuztani, Ya Ahmad, you have achieved, mashallah, you have won me, you have overcome me. I could not through my entire life beat you. I could not persuade you to do anything that's wrong. So now, mashallah, I congratulate you that you have achieved. And Imam Ahmad said to him, no. No. You are Shaitan, no. You are fooling me. And what is the reason for this? He says, because should it be that he had to say yes, then he would throw all his a'mal away, and that would have been yes out of pride. It would have been yes out of pride. And he would throw all his a'mal away, and he would die in a death that would be, you would be accountable for that type of death. So Shaitan will always try. We're never going to be free from him. Right? We're never going to be free from him. He's going to always try and get us. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that moment to make it easy for us so that he does not take advantage of us at the times when it's most needed, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, one of the things that is mentioned that is very important, that the Sharia has made the deceased and all the actions and all the a'mal of the deceased as an amana for the living people. It is our responsibility. It's an amana. We have to fulfill this amana. It is a fardu kifaya. It's a fard. We first say it's a fard, and then afterwards you say it's a fard kifaya, meaning that it is a fard that is obligatory upon the people, but if there are some people that fulfill this duty, the responsibility falls away from the rest of the people. So there has to be someone that fulfills this duty, is to wash the body, to do takfeen is to shroud the body, and to perform the salah upon the body, and then finally is to bury the body. This is compulsory. Right? So someone has to do it. And one of the things that it is mentioned much, that it is of the adab and of the etiquettes of dealing with the body, is that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says to us, "Kama tadinu tudan." Kama tadinu tudan. Kama tadin tudan. That how or what you do will be done to you. So how you do things, that is the way it's going to be done to you. Whatever you've done in your life, Allah protect us from this, that it will be done to you. So the reason for saying this is that when they say the Sharia has placed the mayyit or the dead person as an amana for the living people, and Rasulullah says, "Kama tadinu tudan," meaning that the way you interact, your mu'amala, the way you worked with the dead, must be like you are working with him as he is alive. Because the more adab, the more respect and more haya you have with this body, humility and khushu you have with this person, with the dead, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will place and afford you as an individual. What's wrong? Is it okay? Is it for the ladies? Cannot hear. Okay. So It says that the way you interact with the body, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will place people the same way to interact with your body. So if you are a donkey and you're just working with the body like you want, like say housepipe and spuit hom net af, like that, and then that is the way people is going to handle you. And if you do it properly and respect the body, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it so that the people who will come do your body and look after you will have more adab with you and more respect. And there's a hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam says that when we are interacting with the body, that man ghassala mayyitan fakatama alayhi, right? غفر الله له 40 مرة. In another hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, من غسل ميتا فأدى فيه الأمانة لم يفشي عليهم أو لم يفشى عليهم عند ذلك خرج منه أو خرج من ذلك كذنوب خرج من ذلك أو من ذلك كيوم ولدته أمه. That Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that the person who washes the body and he interacts with the body in the best of manners, and he does not display or disclose any of the fault that he has seen upon that body to anyone, right? And his mu'amala or his interaction with that body, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive him. And due to this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in another hadith that he will, when after dealing with this body, when he comes out, he will be as if he was born. That all his sins will be removed. And this is also encouragement for us to wash the body, all right? To wash the body. And there's another hadith that mentions the person who washes the body, and then after shrabs the body, and then after performs salah upon the body, and then thereafter takes the body to the grave to get buried, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will wipe his slate completely clean and remove all his sins away from him. So, like we said there, that the Sharia has placed this, the mayyit as a responsibility for us. كَمَا تَدِينُ تُدَانُ Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says. And this brings us to the first wajibat of ghusl. The first wajibat of the janazah, the first thing that is compulsory upon the janazah. And this is the washing of the deceased, right? The washing of the deceased. And this is, there are different ways of washing the body. Number one is, the most important thing is that the body must be washed at least once. The entire body should be washed at least once. And then you can, where the hadith says that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of his daughters passed on, and they were going to wash the body, and then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned to them that says, he says, wash it thrice, or 5 times, or more than that. Wash it thrice, or 5 times, or more than that. And wash it with sidr. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ghasilu with sidr. And this sidr, we will speak about that later inshallah. So you can wash the deceased once, thrice, 5 times. Once is fard, right? And the 3 times is the sunnah that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in the hadith. 5 times is also permissible, and we mentioned sunnah that's mentioned in the hadith. 7 times is also in another narration one of the ways to wash the body, which is they say that this is the best and complete way to wash the body. So the manner that the people of Tarim, because why we are giving the manner of Tarim over here, the manner in which the people of Tarim has chosen is they have chosen 7 washes. 7 washes. All right. So in order for us to wash the body, which is the least, which is fard, right, is just to let the water go from the top of the body, like a ghusl. We know how ghusl is, from the top of the body to touch every part of the skin, every part of the hair, every single thing, right down from the top of the body until the toes or until the heels. Every single thing must be wet. Once that is done, then it's done inshallah. Just once, right? Obviously, this does not refer to removing of najasa. The removal of najasa is first, and that's out of the way, and then the washing, the actual washing is just once. Then you can do it 3 times. You can wash the body thrice also. The body, I see something here that we need to mention, is that we mentioned that how we should lay the body, right? When the person is busy dying, all right, is that we face the body towards we face the Qibla on his right side. And if it is not on his right side, then it's on his left side. And this is how you will deal with the body, shrouding and cleaning it up and everything. I'm not shrouding for cleaning him up and how you will deal with the body in that moment. But when it comes to washing, then you have to turn the body and face, you don't face the body now, the body doesn't lie on his right side. When it comes to washing, the feet must face the Qibla. So there's two different directions. The first one is, if it's not on his right or on his left, then you can face him on lie him on his back. But at washing point is you should lie him on his back, where his feet face the Qibla. All right? So that's the two that I just needed to mention. I forgot to mention that too. Okay. So the washing is, we said that there is the one wash, which is the wajib, then the three washes. The sunnah way is that Rasulullah ﷺ said that you wash it with sidr. What? Sidr. And sidr is, it is mentioned, I checked it on Google, and it actually says lotus. But it says lot also, a lot tree. Right? We don't have a projector here, but I would like to show the leaf, the specific type of leaf, how it looks. It's a greenish leaf, lot, from the lot tree, or from the lotus tree. Right. So this leaf is actually dried up and grinded into a powder. Dried up and grinded into a powder. And when it is a powder, this powder is thrown into the water and mixed with the water. And then the body is washed with this water. That's why Rasulullah ﷺ says in the hadith that wash the body with sidr. And this is the sidr that is referred to from the lot tree. And then, if the first wash is sidr, the second wash is to clean the body from the sidr, and the third wash is pure clean water. But with this water, we add in some kafur. وآخره Rasulullah ﷺ says وآخره kafura, and kafur is camphor. So we wash the last wash, we wash it with camphor. So that is the first and three. And if it is 5, then you have it with the sidr, with the lot, and then you clean it off. And then with the lot, and then you clean it off, and then the pure water with camphor. And if it is 7, you wash it with sidr, with the lot, clean it off. With the lot, clean it off. And then with the lot again, and then these two is clean water. Clean it off, and with camphor. 7. And you can wash it 9 times also. It's permissible to wash it 9 times also. But there's no narrations, there's no narration says that it's above 9. So because Rasulullah ﷺ said in the hadith, it says, wash it 3 or 5 or more. And in the found narration it says that wash it 7 times. So there's 9, the people added 9, but they do not add more than that because there's nothing more than that. So the 9 is, this is 9, mashallah. This is sidr, it's lot, this is lot, washing off. Lot, washing off, alright, that's 4. And then we have lot, washing off, and these last 3 is clean water, and clean water. But these 2, this is sidr, this is just clean water with a wudu, with the ghusl, with the niyyah of ghusl. And this one is the clean water with the niyyah, placed with camphor. So the last one is always camphor. And the one before that, if it is 2 clean or 3 clean, the one before that is called the fard ghusl. Everything else was not part of the fard. Nothing was part of the fard. The one before the last one is the fard ghusl, which is the one that we actually make the niyyah. Nawaitu fard al-wudu an hadil mayyit. That I perform the wudu for this mayyit. And remember that we make dua for him also, that we say, Allahumma, say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah, Allahumma ja'alhu. Oh Allah, make him, Allah ja'alhu min at-tawwabina, wa ja'alhu min al-mutatahhirina. Make him from those people who has attained repentance, right? And make him from those people that are pure, make him. So we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for him. Don't ask for ourselves after you wash. Now perform the wudu and say, Allahumma ja'alni min at-tawwabina, wa ja'alni min al-mutatahhirin, wa ja'alni. You made the wudu for him, but you're making dua for yourself. Right? And even the niyyah also, don't say nawaitu fard al-wudu. And you must say nawaitu fard al-wudu or nawaitu fard al-ghusl anhu, an hadha al-mayyit. You're not performing it for yourself. So we say we make the intention to make the wudu or the ghusl for this mayyit, for this person, not for ourselves. Okay. So what Tareem has done, they have changed it a bit. They have looked at this, at the hadith, they looked at the methods and the sunnah ways that people really wash, that it is 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and how it is, you put on sidr, then you clean it, sidr, clean it, sidr, clean it. They say, no, wait, we've chosen 7, all right, because this is complete, the best. But we have not done it in this pattern like it is there. We've chosen a different pattern. They have, for the first 3, they wash it only with sidr. Meaning that they only place the lotri. The lotri, they place it in there. Alright? And I'm sure for us is, I'm sure we have sidr in Cape Town. Is that not so? Do we have sidr in Cape Town? Yes? MashaAllah. The Buddha knows, MashaAllah, we have sidr in Cape Town. So yeah, we have sidr in Cape Town. And then you wash the body off, alright? You wash the sidr off the body. And then we have 3 left. We have 3 left. The 5th one is just a wash. The 6th one is when you make the niyyah of ghusl. Nawaitu fard al-ghusl an hadhihi al-mayyit. And we're going to do the whole tartib now, inshallah, and see how it is washed. You wash the ghusl an hadhihi al-mayyit. And the 7th one is you wash it with kafur. Like Rasulullah SAW mentioned to us that you have to wash it with camphor. Okay. So, the first thing that is done in when washing is before these 7 or 3 or 5, whatever, before these washes, the first thing you do is when you find the ruh has actually left the body now, we have to make sure. Alright, we have to make sure. This is coming back to after the soul has left the body. Okay. So, let's come back to after the soul. First thing you have to do is to verify that death has really taken place. That death has, and we have signs. The first sign is that the hands become cold. Alright? The first sign is that the hands become cold, and that the limbs actually start to pull stiff. That's one of the first signs. And that you find the eyes, that usually if you close the eye when the person is alive, the eye flickers open again. It flutters open again. But when the ruh has left the body and you close the eyes stay closed. It doesn't open again. So it is encouraged to verify first. The reason why they also say to verify, because some very interesting story happened. A very interesting thing happened to one of our mufassir, one of the commentators of the Quran. So, his name is Shaykh al-Baghawi, right? al-Baydawi. And what happened was that usually the heart stops, and the longest period of time, I'm not sure, the longest period that the heart can stop is a few hours, and then you can revive it again. Right? When you're in the hospital, you can revive it again. But this Imam al-Baghawi, his heart stopped for approximately 12 hours. Approximately 12 hours. So what occurred was, they thought he was dead. And he wrote this in his tafsir at the beginning. He mentioned his story, he writes his story, that when they thought he was dead, they did the whole procedure. MashaAllah, washed him up, cleaned him up, ghusl, kafan, salah, everything. And they buried him. Subhanallah. But how interesting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has plans for everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did, Allahu Akbar. He's great, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it so that there was an individual that he would go around after people were buried. This was his style. Poor people then. He would go and steal the kafans of the bodies. When the people are gone, he would open the qabr up and steal the kafans of the bodies. So he came to Imam Baghawi, mashallah. This is just how fortunate that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends this guy to come steal this body, to steal this kafan and find who. So when he opens the grave and he's busy removing, Allahu Akbar. This is the moment Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revives his heart again. And he wakes up. Can you imagine the shock you get? Allahu Akbar. Huh? They say, was this a spook? Yeah, Allahu Akbar. But and this was the moment that his life or his heart started working again. And he woke up. And subhanAllah, obviously the person that was, wanted to steal the kafan, inshallah, obviously he repented, because why? That was now a bad thing. You don't want to face that again. Next time you will have a heart attack if you see something like that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revived him and give it back to him in his life again. And this is why they say, and this is interesting because Imam Baghawi actually writes this, right? So he says that you have to do tahqiq, you have to verify for sure that the person is dead. Because sometimes you find people, they seem to be dead, but they're not really dead. And one of the signs that we have also is that you will find the eyes staying open, and the limbs becomes hard or stiff. The hands and the body actually starts becoming cold. And then there's another one that we will actually start seeing a type of a foamish coming out of the mouth occasionally, all right? Foam comes out of the mouth of the individual. So the first thing you do after you have verified, we have now verified that he's dead. The mayyit is dead. The first thing we do is remove the clothes. Because it is mentioned that one of the most difficult things is that when the body is hot, the mayyit, he actually feels. The mayyit feels like he's alive. That's why you have to treat it like it is alive. He feels everything. The way you act with it, if you're wild and punching the body and ripping and throwing the body around, the body feels that, like it is alive. And the person, actually, the body feels and hears also. That's why, this is also a different topic, but it goes into Aqidah, where Rasulullah ﷺ stood at the bi'r, and we mentioned that, Habib mentioned that now at the retreat, that when you're standing, Rasulullah ﷺ went after Badr, and after Uhud, and then he spoke to the people that were martyred. And they asked him, why are you speaking to them? He said, they can hear just like you can hear. So the mayyit can hear us. Right? The mayyit can hear. So the first thing you do is, after the ruh has left the body and you have verified that the person has died, is first to remove the clothes. If you cannot remove the clothes, gently, then snip it off and remove it. But remember that it is necessary, absolutely necessary, that we must close the body and do not display or disclose the aura of the body. The person's aura must not be shown at all, period. So you throw it with a very fine little cloth, what they call is a lakan, right? What do you call this? Very fine cotton cloth. You throw it over the body and keep the body closed at all times. So you will work with the body like that. If it is a male, then you close it from the navel down to the knees. That's how we close it. Just keep it closed and we'll work with the body from there. If it is a female, it is preferable for females to wash the body, right? Preferable for females to wash the body. If no females are around, then we ask the husband to wash the body, or someone that is a close relative to wash the body. If there is no one around to wash the body for the female, and there's a non-mahram, no one, the ulama goes to the extent and it says, just perform tayammum for the body. Because why? We do not display the aura of the woman. Okay? So the first thing is, ahaqqun nas, the person that is rightfully supposed to wash the body, is a male for the male, female for the female. And it's best, if that is not so, then the wife or the husband for the partner. If that is not so, then close relatives. Alright? But for male, anyone can wash. It changes, it just goes on male. And for female, it changes though. That if there is no one around and there is non-mahram only, she does not have any family, it's only non-mahram, then they say just perform tayammum for the body, wipe over the face and over the hands. The least is to wipe over the face, because why? That is permissible to look at. And wipe over the hands, and that is permissible to look at. Because everything else is aura. From here to there is aura, and from the chin down, everything is aura. So just wipe over the hands and over the face, and do the takfeen and do the salah and let it go. So this is also to show the the modesty that a person should have and interact with the body. That's why Sayyidina Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha says that before she passed on, she asked Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala anha not to disclose her body to anyone. Not to disclose her body to anyone. So she would request that she must be buried, she must be taken to the qabr in the night, in the evening, and she should be closed with this little dome that we have over the this bed that we carry the mayat in. We have a little dome, so it's closed, so you do not see the mayat inside. And then finally is that she must be buried in the evening so that no male can see her shape of her body. And this is the haya, the modesty that she has. And this is the same way that we should interact with the bodies of the ladies, of the females. Okay, so after verifying, right, and then removing the clothes and covering the body and keep it closed, because why the awrah must be closed at all times. We close the eyes, right, that is 4, we close the eyes, and then, important, is to close, we take a little cloth, we're not going to use don't use any rope. In the ghusl, no rope, and no string, and no shoelaces and stuff like that, none of that type of things. We're using cloth at all times. So you take a broad piece of cloth, and you place it under the mouth, under the chin, under the chin, and fasten it to the top. Close it up on top, so that the mouth is closed. And the reason for this is that if the mouth is open, the air goes in and it inflates the stomach. So you're pushing the foot up like this. You're pushing it up, back again, pushing it up, back again, a few times, so that the limbs, so generally all the limbs that we need to loosen, that's the limbs we loose. Right? We do not need to lose the limbs of, this here. You don't, because why? When you are moving the foot, the hip, when you're moving the foot, then automatically it moves this limb in the hip. So try and move everything, and even the head also, maybe if you want, just give it a little tilt like that, because we do not really, we're not going to use the head much, only for one time. Is that if water goes into the mouth, you have to turn the head to the side so that the water can run out again. Because we do not want anything to be stuck in the mouth, because later the stuff would come out and it makes something else najis. So we try to keep everything loose so that we can clean the body up properly. That's loosening all the portions of the body. And then, like we mentioned, and then to place the body on his back, all right, with the feet facing the qibla and the head facing this is after death. He has to place the body on his back. You'll just see the verifying here. Where is this in your book? Page. To place. Okay, then to place what did we mention at the beginning? We said that the body, when it lies at the beginning, when the ruh is leaving the body, you place it on his side. And then when it is for the time of shrouding and washing and so forth, you place it to the qibla. And for salah, you also place it again on its side again, because it depends on whether imam is going to stand for the male or the female. Okay, so they also mention here that one of the last things that you need to do is to inform the families that by this time, I'm sure, and for us it's not like this. For us, by this time, everyone knows that the mayyat the ruh has left the mayyat's body already by this time. So they say that when the ruh, after preparing the body up, inform the families and everyone that the ruh has left the body, so that people can start doing the ziyarah. When leaving the body, preparing for the actual wash, is to, when the body is just waiting, is to put the hands like it is in salah. Put the hands like this, like it is in salah. And usually the hands is not going to stay. It's not going to stay, it's going to fall apart again. So what they do is, they just take a little piece of string, which is the cloth, and they just tie it on the fingers, just here on these two fingers, like this, so that the hand stays on the body. And at the same time also, when the feet is out, what happens is the feet falls over like this, falls to the side. So what they do is just place it back up again, and the two, which is called the big toes, just place, again, a little cloth string around the toe to keep it tight so that it stays up like this. So the body stays and wait. So this is the preparation now that we are going to actually wash the body. Now we get to washing the body, inshallah, because why Sheikh Muhammad requested for us, we just end up a little early, inshallah. The washing of the body. The first wash. Okay, the first thing that you do is the first wash has got nothing to do with the ghusl. Remember, the first wash has nothing to do with the ghusl. The first wash is just you pour water over the body to loosen all grime, to loosen everything that is attached to the body, to make the whatever dirt is in the body, just to get it loose, just to loosen all the dirt. And then we have to place the body up, right? Like we're seating him up. But what we do is you place him. We don't work on the floor. They have a little different way. So you place your right knee under the body when you keep the hand like this in the neck, and the thumb into this little groove here in the neck, and you keep the back up. So you're keeping the body. This is the body, the mayyit. He's laying like this, and when you have him, you rub over the stomach. Remember that it is preferable for us to have a little cloth on the hand rather, because a little piece of cloth, all right, that you cover the hand up, because it's preferable to do it like that and not have a plastic, what do you call this, latex gloves, because the latex gloves this is what they say, the latex gloves is warm, and we do not want to apply any heat to the body, because why? Any heat that you apply to the body speeds up the process of decomposition. Any heat. So when the mayyit or when the ruh has left the body, what is required now is to keep the thing cold, keep the body cold. And everything that you are working with the body, keep it cool. Your hands also cool. Right? So when we have the body up, we're keeping him in his neck, and we just rub over the stomach gently in order to let all the najasa come out. Whatever it is that is in the stomach, we are pushing it out with the left hand. Never use the right hand for these things. With the left hand. That is for the ghasi of the person who's washing. After everything has come out, you do this for a while, you will place the body back down again, and then you perform the istinja as normal. The istinja. Pour a little water, which is you place it under the cloth. You raise your hand, put it under the cloth, place water, and you istinja however that is. For a female, you istinja the way a female must be istinjad, and for a male, you istinja the way it is supposed to be istinjad, right? You do the istibra and everything, you istinja. But you have your hands closed at all times. Never touch the body with hand, clean hand, bare hand. Never touch the body with bare hand. So, after this is done, we're going to have with us now, we're knowing now that the body is facing, that the feet of the body is facing the qibla, so we're sitting with the body now. The najasa is all out of the stomach, and we made sure that the najis, whatever, maybe something, sometimes you have stuff we ate last and it's stuck in the throat, all right? So we make sure that we turn the face to the side and see if it can come out, let everything come out of the throat. And then the first thing we do is now that we have to, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, after cleaning that, we take pieces of cloth. I don't know how they do things in Cape Town, but this is how we do things in Tarim. Is you take quite a couple of portions of cloth, very small pieces like this, and you start with the cloth, cleaning the eyes. One piece of cloth, cleaning the eyes. You clean in the grooves of the eyes, cleaning the eyes. One piece of cloth, and you throw it one side. Then another piece of cloth, and you clean the eyes. All right, put it one side. And then you take a piece of cloth, wrap it over the finger, and clean inside the nose. All right, in this nostril, and then the next nostril, and so forth. And then into the ears. If it is that you need more cloth, because whatever blood, whatever is coming out of the mouth, do it continuously until all najasa is gone. Cleaning inside the nose, cleaning in the ears, cleaning in the eyes, everything. When that is done, and not at the time, when the ruh has left the body, we do not use the miswak now. When the ruh is in the body, we can use the miswak, no problem. But when the ruh has left the body, we do not use the miswak. Now we take a cloth and just wipe it over the teeth to clean the teeth up. Right? To clean the teeth up. When that is done, then we take a piece of, sometimes you find grime in the nails, has not been cleaned up and anything. To take a little toothpick, right, and just clean under the nails. But you start in the sunnah, Sunnah method is that Imam Ghazali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he says that when you clip your nails, you keep your hands like this. Keep it like this. Keep it together. When you clip your nails, you start by the right finger, which is this one here, right? And you go around like a circle. So you're going this side, on this nails, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you go here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and end up with this one. 9, 10, 11. You end up with this one. So what you're doing is you keep your hands like this, and you're cutting from the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how you end. Alright? That is the Sunnah method or manner of cutting the nails. So in the same manner is how you clean the nails. So you clean under the nail, and then on top here on cuticle, and you clean inside the nail and top, not very rigorous, just very gentle, because why? We don't want to harm and hurt the body. And then so forth, you go on, coming back to the side, ending off with this one. And the same thing is with the nails or toenails. Toenails, we start with the right foot, with the small toe on the right foot, and we end off with the small toe on the left foot. So we go around the right up until that side. After, this is basically removing all najasa, everything that is najis in the body. So we've removed every single portion of najasa from the body. Alright? If we find rings, stuck to the finger, gold rings, silver rings, inshallah, no gold rings, silver rings is sunnah. So take off the rings and leave it with the people that's going to inherit. Alright? Because this is his position. With the people that's going to inherit. You don't bury any mayyit with no rings, with no chains. Some people, I got a lot of chains, you must bury me in my best form. No, that's not going to help you. It's not going to assist. Bury me with my gold teeth and everything. No, remove. If the teeth can come out, then remove the teeth. Because this belongs now to the inheritors. The people who's going to inherit from it belongs to them. So if it, like we find today, we have teeth that is plugged in, gold teeth. You cannot remove it, then no problem. Bismillah, you can go with that tooth. You understand? But if it is that you can remove, then everything that is valuable, jewelry, gold, silver, anything, remove it and leave it behind. Okay. So after the body is completely been cleaned now we wash the body off, but we use a specific type of substance. And this is called hateka in their language, hateka. Let me explain it like this. This is, for us, we replace it with soap, sunlight soap. Is it? Yeah. Sunlight soap. We replace it with sunlight soap. So we use sunlight soap. For them, they say, soap is not as good as this specific substance. And we can have it here in Cape Town. Also, we do have it. It is the wild, the weed that grows in weed that just grows, but we do not plant it. It grows by itself. It's wild weed. Doesn't sound familiar? Doesn't sound familiar? The little weeds that grows in the garden. It's wild weed, man. It just grows by itself. No? Okay. Is that what? Ya Allah Akbar. He just, yes, he just grows by himself. No one has no control over this guy. This guy grows anyway by himself. So what they do is this very leaf, they take it and they dry it up, and it's made into powder also. It's made into powder. And this thing they call hateka. And I've got pictures of these things, inshallah, perhaps maybe next week, inshallah, if we have inshallah, maybe we get a projector and show the pictures of some things, inshallah. So yeah, they take this and they use this powder as a soap. And up until today, some of the people still wash themselves with this. They say that this thing, he removes the najasa immediately with one wash. With one wash. Not like soap, they wash it a few times, okay, it's almost gone. Another time, but this one, just immediately once. So they take this and you apply this to the entire body. You apply soap to the entire body. And then you now actually wash it off. Now the body is ready for washing. Now the ghusl start. Just look, subhanAllah, this is already one wash gone. And we threw water the first wash, just threw water to loosen the grime. And then we put soap on to remove the najasa. And then we washed this najasa off, right? And remember, in the second thing that we place the body up to remove all najasa within the stomach, within the ears, eyes, nose, mouth, all these places, we place the body up and remove that. Now, we have come to a point where we are ready to perform the wudu for the body. The wudu. And this, when I say washing, don't worry, in the next one after this, inshallah, we'll explain exactly how the washing happens. But now you perform the wudu for the body first. So you perform the wudu like you perform the wudu in your life. Like you and I will perform the wudu, that's how you perform the wudu. Now wait to sunnat al-wudu, and you wash the hands for the mayyit, wash the hands thrice, and you make the dua. Habib, he was very, how can I say, he was hard with us with that one. Please make the du'as, right? Allahumma inni as'aluka al-khayra wal-yumn, like that, khair, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant good from our hands. And then when you wash the mouth, right? Allahumma inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husna ibadatik, wash the hands. Oh Allahumma inni ala kathrati tilawatik, oh Allah, grant me or assist me in performing lots of recitation of the Quran, like that, wash the mouth. So when you are washing the hand, you do this, wash the hands, inside do tahleel of the hands, wash it thrice, and then in the mouth you place a little water, throw a little water in the hands and throw it in the mouth, turn the face to the side and throw it in the mouth, so that just a little water is in the mouth and you turn the face to the side so that the water runs out again. Because we do not want that water to go into the throat and stay there. Because later, when we start shrouding the body, this water might come out again. And we do not want to bring any filth or any dirt into or make the kafan wet again. So you wash the mouth. After the mouth, wash the nose thrice, just throw it over the nose thrice, right, and clean it out. Once in and push it out. Once in, push it out. Like we do when we're performing wudu. And then washing the face, washing from the top of the face down to the bottom, right? Perform. Now you make the niyyah, nawaitu fard al-wudu an hadihi al-mayyit. Now I make the intention to perform wudu for this mayyit, right? And you perform the wudu for this mayyit, and you wash him from the top down, and so forth, from the hands down, and you make the du'as and everything. Oh Allah, Allahumma bayyid wajhi yawm al-qiyamah. This is the du'as that, oh Allah, grant to make my face white yawm al-qiyamah. ولا تبيض وجهي ولا تسود وجهي بوجوه الذي تسود وجوههم. They don't make my face darkened by those faces that you will make it darken those days on Yawm al-Qiyamah. And when you wash the hands, Allah, grant me the book in my right hand. Allahumma ja'alni min ashab al-yamin, and grant me to be from the people of Yameen, of the people of the right. ولا تجعل كتابي عن يساري ولا تجعل كتابي من خلف ظهري. Oh Allah, do not place the book in my left hand or behind my back. And then when you wash the head, also grant me to be under your arsh or under your shade Yawm al-Qiyamah, washing the ears, so forth. And you wash everything. And then the feet, final. Oh Allah, grant me steadfastness on the sirat, and do not let my feet slip off from the sirat Yawm al-Qiyamah, so forth. So after performing the wudu, now we are going to start the actual wash, which is the first wash. Now we throw sidr into the water, which is that little powder that we spoke about. And if we have it in Cape Town, alhamdulillah. If we have it in Cape Town, hopefully we'll have it in Cape Town, inshallah, sidr. Or we can just start, making our own things, inshallah. Start getting sidr and low tree and start making it, inshallah. So you throw it into the water, and this is when you start washing the first washing the body. So the washes, and this applies to every single wash. First is to throw water. You start throwing water from the top, from the head here, right? Pouring it over the top. So the water runs over the head, and you first rub it into the hair first, right? And it runs down into the neck. And then you throw over the face, and wash the face. That's where you start, right? And wash it in the ears, everything behind the ears, in like this behind the ears. And then you start. The first wash is from the hands. So the mayyit lays like this, facing the Qibla. So you lift him up by his hand, all right? Lift it up by his hand like this, and you start pouring the water from here. So what happens is the water runs down to the shoulder. So the water runs down, and you wash under the arms, everything. Wash under the arms, and you wash on the front side of the chest, front side, right down to the knees and under. And when it comes to the feet, the same thing like this. The feet is like this. You lift it up by the toes, keep it up by the toes, and not very high. Where you don't lift it up too high from the ground, from the table, where the aura get displayed underneath. So you just lift it up very slightly from the table, because it is covered. Just lift it up very slightly from the table. You pour the water. This is the toes. You pour the water, and it runs down. So it will run down to the bottom, and you wash everything inside the toes. The way we perform wudu, inside the toes, you wash. And then you, in order for you to wash the backside of the body, all right? In order for you to wash the backside, we don't just throw the body over, Bismillah, throw it over. No, you place the right hand on the side, and the right foot over the left foot. The right foot over the left foot. So it's like this, right foot over the left foot. So what happens now is that the body does this. So it makes it easy for you to tilt the body. So one person, you're obviously going to have assistance. One person will keep it at the ajis, here at the hip, and he will just keep it, push it over, and the other person will keep at the shoulder and the head. So you will push it over, and then you start pouring the water from the back, on the back, from the head down, right down to the feet. And in the same manner, when it needs to be washed on the other side, you start washing the hands down this way, and the feet down, back, everywhere, and throwing the left foot over this way, and then the left foot over and the hand over this way, and then tilting the body. It makes it very easy. Otherwise, if you do not do this, you're not going to be able to tilt the body. Some people are large, so it's very difficult to tilt them. So you need strong people. You don't need strong people to tilt the body. You just need to throw the leg over in the correct position, and the hand over, and you will see how easy it goes over to tilt the body. So you must have someone also keeping the head, so that the head doesn't lie like this. All right? So you keep the head up and you push the body over, because you have to work with respect and adab with the body. Because like Rasulullah SAW mentions that the way you interact with the body, this is the same way that people will interact with your body. Then that's the wudu, alhamdulillah. So after the wudu is complete and the first wash is complete, then you do, like we said, the 3 sidr, which is the 3 with this powder. I don't think there's a replacement for that. I don't know if there's a replacement. So you wash it with a sidr, and then 3 to clean, right? Clean off. You're cleaning off that sidr. And then in your second last wash, you make the intention to perform the ghusl for the mayyit. And in this one, the niyyah is, you make the niyyah nawaitu fard al-ghusl an hadi al-mayyit. Because the ghusl is fard. The ghusl is a fard for this person. And this is where you actually do the ghusl, wash the body down, and then final wash is you throw kafoor, which is a little block of camphor. You crush the camphor nice and fine. I don't know if you have fine camphor in Cape Town, but if it is blocks, because that's how I know it, you've seen it, blocks, you crush it, you throw it in the water, and you mix the water, and this very water you throw over the body in the same manner, from the head to the toes and so forth, the hands. And when that is done, what we do is, at 2 times when we are busy with the body, there's 2 occasions. The first is you bring this guy in, this thing in, all right? The first time you bring, oh, ya ilahi, Allahu Akbar. Okay, it's not working now. The first time you bring this guy in is when you're cleaning, when you're removing the najis out of the stomach. Then you bring this guy inside, the bukhur, all right? Or you burn incense sticks in the room, so that all the smell, najasa, brings smell, so that the smell stays away, so it does not become a environment where you're just stinky. So we bring this in the room to keep the room nice, the smell nice. The second time we bring this in is that after we have completely washed the body with kafoor, the final wash, we have the blanket, or not the blanket, you shouldn't put a blanket over, you should put a very thin sheet over the body. So when the sheet is over the body, in Cape Town, this is the only thing that we don't have. Our table that we have to wash the body is a metal thing, right? A metal thing with a little hole. In Tarim, they do not have that. It's a type of a wooden table, but this table is made of strips. So it's put together, so when you pour water over, it immediately falls down. It immediately falls. So you wash it out on a place where you can, not in someone's house. Ours is designed like that, so that you put the little bucket at the end, so the water runs into the little bucket. So in any case, so what they do is, if you had this table, but I think we can do it by us also, inshallah, that you just, when you cover the body with this cloth, 4 people will keep the cloth and keep it open. So it's basically just covering the body, but it's not touching the body. And then you bring this in and you place it under the table. So all this, the khor and the smoke goes up and it starts mixing and going over the body, the wet body. So the body becomes fragrant and it has the smell of the bukhur. So the smell stays in. So when the body dries up, the body smells nice. The body smells nice. So now you can actually take a towel, no problem. Take a towel and dry the body off softly. Take a towel, dry the body off. And then after the body is dried, which will take approximately 15 minutes also, 15 minutes completely dried. After the body is dried, just double check for the last time, double check the mouth, that all water is out, turn it to the side, throw the water, clean the mouth inside, take the water out. And now we can actually prepare for the kafan. Alright, now we prepare for the kafan. And inshallah, we end the year with that, inshallah, for the kafan. We will complete the kafan and the salah and the burial. Next week, inshallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then if Allah wills, make it easy for us, inshallah, then we will do the practical. The only problem we have with the practical is that we are faced with a little crisis today. Right? We are running short of water shortages. So wasting, using a lot of water like that is not going to be one of those preferable things to do. So there's a possibility we might use it with a little water, inshallah, or we might do the actual practical here in the mosque or somewhere without water, pretending. But we'll have them made, inshallah, how to move it and how to keep it, inshallah. So it's up to the people. Would you like to see it in actual water, how it's done, or just do the practical without the water, inshallah. So just give suggestions to Sheikh Muhammad, inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursalina, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Is there any questions? Yes, bismillah.
You say keep the body cold.
Yes. Yes.
Would you use hot or cold water?
Now the water should be cold water. Yes. You do not use any hot water because Habib said, and he mentioned this many times also, he says that the moment you apply any heat to the body, even if you're using a blanket, putting a blanket over the body, and you're working with warm things on the body, this speeds up the process of decomposition. And we do not want to do that. We need to delay it, because sometimes when you're working with the body, some bodies, it comes in late already. Or we are working for a long period of time, we're waiting for people, so sometimes the stench could start very early, and we do not want to do that. So we work in such a manner that we're keeping the decomposition delayed. So we don't have any of that, so we can still have beautiful smell around us, inshallah. Anything else?
What happens with autopsy?
Autopsy. It depends also, because first of all, autopsy is not really permission. There's no permission for it really, permissibility for it. It only depends, right? And this is also one of the masail that they speak about as fatawa. They say that the autopsy is only permissible if there is if there's a sickness in the family, right? And this sickness is inherited, right? And in order for us to know how we can perhaps delay the sickness or get a cure for the sickness or assist to make it easy for the family, because it's an inherited thing, it's going to run down to the family, then it's permissible for this person to write in his will that they can do the autopsy to find out what the cause is. So if the autopsy is done, right, how do we work with the body after that? Is that we have to stuff those places up, right, with cotton wool so that the blood does not come out. So like for instance, we have the person bleed maybe with ear bleed or no bleed or mouth bleed, right? And it's excessive bleeding or probably a wound. So we just stuff it up with cotton wool so that it does not, come a lot. So we wash the body, and if it is necessary to do tayammum on that specific part, then yes, we can do it for that. So you stuff the body up so that the blood does not come, so we don't have a place that's full of najis. Okay. And then we just carry on with normal, yes. And if it is so, like you find bodies that is mutilated, right, or burnt or so forth, those bodies, there's different ways of working with those bodies. The one that is burnt, you cannot wash it. you cannot wash it because it will cause decomposition in a rapid way. So due to this, you just do tayammum for the body. And those that is mutilated, you just wrap up what is necessary, because you cannot wash the blood away. It's going to be excessive blood continuously. So you just wrap it up, do tayammum, wrap it up, and whatever you can do wash, just do that, and then put it into the coffin as wrapped up. All right, put it into the coffin as wrapped up, and then put it away, inshallah.